I'm Caitlin and welcome to the Lit Review. I'm back on my channel, and that means I'm back on my preferred form of bullshit, which is my TBR game, LitLand. The rules are kind of loosely inspired by Candyland, but I do 4 polls every month that could take me any number of places and spaces, but each color that I pull corresponds to a genre, and so I have to pick something from that. There are things like punishment squares or stuck squares, as well as challenge cards and places that could take me back to and fro, but the ultimate goal is to get to the book haul. So I kind of want to do a little bit of a reboot. Like, I'm not kicking myself all the way back to start because it's been like 4 months since you've heard from me. So I had to go back and look at old videos to see where the heck we were together. So I'm going to keep that put. I'm not going to take any punishments for all the things I didn't finish because I was really in kind of, not really like a slump, but just a reading rut. Like, I didn't want to read anything that wasn't a romance novel, and that's okay. Overall, you're probably going to see more romance content from me in the coming months because that's been something that's bringing me a lot of joy lately. But I will still be reading other things through LitLand. The only thing that's really different is that I kind of wanted to make this a bit more interactive with you all, and so what I'd like to do is do an audience pick at the end. What that's going to do is I have all these great cards, right? Like, I have my challenge squares and my stuck squares that are pretty regular parts of the game. But then I also have these really fun troll bridge cards that have like barely been used since I introduced them into the game because there's not many ways for them to come up. We're just going to call this the monthly troll, and there's a whole bunch of different types of things in here. It could be an activity, it could be another book, it could be like just an action or thing that I have to do, and the way I'm going to run it for myself is that it's optional for me to do this, just like it's optional for you if you want to participate or not. And if I complete whatever the thing is, if it's another book or an action or something, I can basically like save myself from a punishment next month. If I don't, then I have to take whatever the month gives me if I don't complete all my books, because historically I have not completed all my books very frequently. So I've seen a couple of other people do this with their TBR games, just doing like an audience pick that feels more inclusive in things that you can do. And so I thought, like, hey, that's like a nice twist and potentially saves my bacon a little bit. Plus I have like a huge stack of these little troll cards that like we haven't really delved into together. Rather than go through this every single time I make changes to my mental health and therefore this board game, I'm going to start leaving the rules that affect today's game in the description box below so that you can always be up to date on like what the current set of rules are, because it has changed a lot since we started this 2 years ago. Into the gameplay footage. I know I haven't been here since March, so let me just do a quick recap. We left Wilbur, our mascot of Porcelain Perfection, over here on this little red square, and you can see that the red square there, that's our used cards. We have our like fresh deck, or same deck we've been using. Then over here we have troll bridge, stuck squares, or challenge squares. So no punishments today, so we just have 4 picks to do. Pick number 1. 1 purple. Boop. All right, so the first one, 1 purple, and that means 1 miscellaneous. So basically anything that isn't already covered by the other genres in this game. So as a refresher, that's young adult, sci-fi fantasy, nonfiction, historical, or romance. So anything that's not that. I did just recently rearrange my priority shelf. I'm gonna go with a different option that has been on my priority shelf at a different time on this channel, and that is The Con Artist by Fred Van Lent. And it is a Comic-Con themed murder mystery. So the main character, Mike Mason, is a comic book artist, and he goes to San Diego Comic-Con, and you know, there's like a lot of just personal stakes, like as a comic book artist, as somebody who's hoping to reconnect with an ex. But when his romantic rival is found murdered, Mike becomes the prime suspect. And even though this is August LitLand, right now as I'm filming this, like Comic-Con is wrapping up, and so I've been seeing everybody's photos from that event, and it's kind of giving me FOMO. So I think this is a good way to handle this, and it seems like a very light, fluffy mystery with some other stakes. And honestly, just flipping through it, like the print is not super tiny. The print feels kind of big, so I think this will go faster, and I need that right now. So great first pick. Thank you board game. Pull number 2. 1 orange. Boop. Oh, okay. Hey, not so bad. We got a 1 orange, and orange is sci-fi or fantasy. We have many options. I am going to try to start re-defaulting to the priority shelf whenever possible. And even though you can't see a ton of it, you can see like 1 or 2 books here over on the corner. It's a whole row of just books I'm trying to actually get through. So I'm trying to keep my, well, high priority picks there. Also, like book box picks I try to put up here. So let me see what I've got for sci-fi or fantasy. Look, man, maybe I don't have the mental bandwidth for the actual size of this, but sometimes you make some calls to make other very special people in your life happy. I'm just gonna chunk it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. So this is the 3rd in the original Mistborn trilogy from Brandon Sanderson. I've read the other 2 books very slowly. Like, I enjoy the heck out of reading them, but they're just like a little denser than I usually gravitate towards. I do like his writing style. I am enjoying the Mistborn trilogy overall, but this is one of Jeremy's favorite books. It is definitively his favorite author. So I'm picking this because ever since he wrapped this for my botched attempt at doing a unwrapping project, he's been asking me about this, so I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. Realistically, am I finishing this in August? No, I will be probably finishing this in September because I'm a slowpoke when it comes to big books. But it's about the effort, you know, it's about the effort, so that's what we're gonna do. Pull number 3. 1 yellow. Boop. Oh, all right. 1 yellow. 1 yellow is young adult. So I'm thinking a lot about those books on my priority shelf because I did just do a whole like unwrapping video of basically books I wish I had gotten my act together and read in 2021. So I'm trying to just like tank some of those, but I also am trying to pick books that are like actually exciting to me. And to be honest, most of the books that have been exciting to me are romances lately. So, but also like YA romance just doesn't make me as happy. Like, it's not that it's bad, it just doesn't make me as happy. Okay, so I know I just said a lot about that shelf. I gave you a lot of words about it, but did I pick a book from that shelf? No, I did not. But I was thinking, as I was telling you about how I'm just not vibing with certain types of romance right now, I think this one might be the exception though, and that's The Lovely War by Julie Berry. So this is another book that, while it didn't officially make my list of books I wish I had read in 2021, is absolutely a book I wish I had read in 2021. It is, I think, technically a YA, and if not, I'll fix it in post. I'll fix it later. You're getting the main central story of some of these folks during World War II, but however, like, the narrator of this World War II era set of stories is Aphrodite, who is spinning their tales of like love and woe, heartbreak and humor in order to get herself out of a bit of a pickle. So I think this has a really interesting dynamic to it. Hope that this is actually YA. If not, I'll fix it. All right, pull number 4. So this is the last of the official things I have to get done for August. Okay, 2 green. Boop, boop. And we got a double. So this is a green times 2, which means I have to pick 2 historicals. 2. That's so many historicals. Oh, okay. You know what? Okay, here's how we fix this. I just went on a whole rant about wanting to read romance. I'm going to pick at least 1 historical romance, and then I'll pick 1 that is like not necessarily a romance historical, and that'll balance its shit out. Okay, so for my little cheat of doing a historical romance, I'm gonna pick The Princess Stakes by Amelie Howard. So this seems like it's kind of got some second chance romance vibes about it, because the princess Sarani has to escape India and kind of stows away in a boat, and lo and behold, she stows away on the boat of her kind of, not her ex, but like somebody she had some flamey feelings for, and that is the new Duke of Embury, Captain Riston Huntley. So yeah, it seems like they're gonna spend some time reconnecting on a boat. Seems legit. Gotta wait for a plane to go by. It's obnoxious, but we're here. All right, this one I promise will be like a more strictly historical pick, but let's think about that. So for my last official pick here on LitLand, I'm gonna pick The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Number 1, gorgeous cover, you gotta say it. It's just so pretty. But this is a historical fantasy. Silvia Moreno Garcia does not disappoint. Everything she does is, to me, has been exquisitely well written and really interesting, and she likes to kind of like do these standalones in different cross genres, which I just think is a really inspiring way to be a writer. So I just generally think she's pretty cool, which is why I'm excited for this. Our 2 main characters, Nina and Hector, are both telekinetic. Nina has kind of been untrained, doesn't know what she's doing, has kind of a reputation locally as being a witch because of the weird things that happen around her. Hector is a more experienced telekinetic that often like he kind of trades on to do magic shows and things like that. And so when he rolls into town, he sees her as like this untapped, untrained individual, and she's like, oh, thank goodness, help me fix it. However, of course, it's way more complicated than that. There are hidden factors at play that both of them are struggling to either keep hidden or discover along the way. But her books, Silvia Moreno Garcia's books, are always so fast-paced and interesting. So I'm really excited to put this on the roster. Now let's get into the optional reads for the month. Like I said at the start, we're gonna pull an official like LitLand pick. I would also love if you would be interested in participating. Again, this is totally optional. I don't have to complete it. I'm not punished for not completing it, but I am rewarded for doing it. So let's see what we pull together. Oh, hi. I'm cat sitting. This is not my cat. Say hello to Rowan. Magic Trick. Oh. But Magic Trick is really an ode to Jeremy, whose favorite game is Magic the Gathering. So what this card means is that I'm going to ask Jeremy to pick a random magic card from his extensive collection of magic cards, and then I will have to pick a book based on whatever card he chooses, and I can be very lax in my interpretation. You don't have to, since this is a prompt we're doing together, you don't have to interpret it the same way I will. So this gives us lots of freedom for our first monthly troll. Okay, so he's not going to appear on camera, but he is going to tell us about the card. I'll make sure to put up an image of it up on the screen. Take it away, Magic Man.
All right, so the card I've chosen for you is called Death Pact Angel. And this is one of the first mythic rares, which is the like highest rarity cards that I've actually ever opened when I started playing Magic. And so it kind of immediately grabbed me because I think the art's awesome. A really well-known Magic artist who's done some iconic work for them. But yeah, it's an angel, but it's kind of a dark angel trope, which is, as you know, is one of the kind of twists that I really like there. And also mechanically, I think it plays into some things I like. So the gist of it is that when the angel dies, you make a cleric that you can then sacrifice to bring the angel back. So it kind of like made a pact to cheat death. I like that kind of like slow, grindy gameplay. There's just a lot going on with this that I think is really like appealing mechanically and stuff like that, even if the card itself is not incredibly strong in the game.
Okay. All right. You've given a lot of detail there, so thank you. I'm going to now try to pick a book based off of that. So, gimme. Thank you.
Is that good?
Yeah, that was perfect. All right. So he's handed over the card, and big thank you to him for continuing to support me in my channel. Angel, actually, as he's talking about this, though, for obvious reasons, the thing that comes to mind is something with angels as a prompt. Feel free to take this in different directions because I am such a mood reader, though. I think what I'm going to do is not definitively pick and give myself a couple of options so that I can have some wiggle room to mood read depending on how the month of August goes, because realistically there's a good chance that I might be moving in August. The two books that immediately come to mind when I hear Angel, I don't have it in this room with me, and because Rowan is here trying to receive some safety and calm from my crazy cats, I won't bother her, but I think it's House of Sky and Breath. I still haven't read Crescent City #2 from Sarah J. Maas, so I know that has angels in it. Potentially even some angels with dark themes, so that seems valid. The other book that comes to mind that is, noticeably shorter but still hopefully pretty helpful for this prompt is Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh. I've been wanting to read some of Nalini Singh for a really long time, and I have this just personality quirk that I really don't like starting series in the middle. The couple of times I've done it, it's been fine, but my brain immediately is like, must go back, start from beginning. So this is a beginning point in one of her really long-standing series, I believe, or at least a reasonable entry point in the Guild Hunter series. It says on the back cover, the love interest is the dangerously beautiful Archangel Raphael. So I think this could also work for our Death Pact Angel. So either the Angel's Blood book from the Guild Hunters or book 2 in Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath. So officially for LitLand, I have 5 books that need to get read. I still can manage, almost dropped the one in my lap, great work. I do still have a rollover policy, a point of protection, because sometimes books just take me a little longer to get through. I'm a slow to medium paced reader. These 5 books will be what I'm genuinely trying to get through in August, even if a couple of them roll over into September, that's okay. Yeah, that was August LitLand. Hopefully you had a fun time with it. I know I did. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!